a little bit about tomorrow's game against Utah State. As always, Jason Munns, presented by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. 5:30, we're going to get to our way too early college football playoff bracket, and we're going to crown a champion. In February, we're going to go ahead and, for the first time, crown our champion. I hope nobody clips this or anything, because I'm just going to say this right now.
Everybody save your picks.
Mine might accidentally get deleted at some point, because I feel like from today to the start of the season, it's going to change a lot in what it looks like.
Should anybody hang a banner off of our picks today?
No. I don't think so.
Maybe the size of like a cupcake flag.
I don't know. I mean,
tiny
maybe
violin, tiny something. Cupcake flag.
I don't know.
Banner.
I don't know. I don't know how much this gets you. But hey,
nobody orders rings off these picks.
I don't think so. I don't think I want to, because I have no faith in these picks today. But it will be fun.
February 13th.
That's right. It is. It is. So it's a lot can change before we're playing football. So, but it'll be fun at 5:30 as we talk some college football, try to make some predictions for next season. 5:45, we will wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Floor Model Spa sale, it's going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display model and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. Have you been dreaming about that new spa? Well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month and over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchased. $8,000 spas, only $159 a month, and free LED lights and waterfall on most models. Head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt. We're Sports Time on this Friday afternoon. We're Sports Time every day, but on this Friday afternoon all the way to 6 o'clock, you can be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. Hit us up. We'd love for you to be a part of our show. We're always from our Family Leisure Studios. We're always live. We're always local. And this hour brought to you every day by the great people at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. You can drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Give them a call at 901-334-9673. Open all weekend. They're ready to see you. Everybody's ready to get out after all the ice and snow. They're ready to see you at 2600 Ridgeway, the home of the only Lexus dealership in Memphis, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500. You'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day was that loss last night for the Tigers against North Texas. 76-69, the final from Denton. We talked a lot yesterday and even throughout the week leading up to this game of how big this week felt for the Tigers. These 3 straight road games against North Texas, against Utah State, and then against South Florida. After the back-to-back wins you had last week, if you could go into North Texas and get a win, go out against Utah State, be competitive on the road, and then go to Tampa to play USF and win that game, then you're really rolling. You're in a great spot for the conference tournament in terms of seeding, but now you get it started with a loss against North Texas again, 76-69. A weird game, a game of runs, but ultimately it was North Texas that had the final run. This North Texas team, they didn't shoot the ball particularly well, 44.7% from the field, but only 20% from 3 for 15 from deep. They did attempt 41 free throws. They shot 75% from the charity stripe, but a lot of their points came in kind of those hustle categories. You look at the points off turnovers, 28 points off turnovers for North Texas, 15 second chance points for North Texas, 16 fast break points for the Mean Green. They wanted it more. I think you could see that throughout the night, that they were really wanting to win that game. They were hustling. They were playing harder throughout most of the game, a lot harder, I think, than the Tigers were playing. For the Tigers, it was a game, we've talked about it, of the fouls. both Theodore Silla and Aaron Bradshaw fouling out of that game, taking out both your starters in the front court, really hurt the Tigers down the stretch. But Sincere Parker, a big second half for him. He leads the team with 20 points. Now, the Tigers, with another loss, back down to 500 on the season. They go out to Utah State to face a really good Aggies team. Currently sits with only 3 losses on the season.
You're right, Brian. It was rough last night. Now the Tigers, never mind those protected seeds. Now try to land now either the 5 or the 6, and you just have to win 4 games in 4 days. I think 1 and 2's out, and maybe even 3 and 4 out. And that's my top story as well. The Tigers lose at North Texas in front of an announced crowd of 3395. Yeah, that's really raucous. Again, let's not make the Super Pit any more than it is. And it's what it is a bad setting in a garbage league that the Tigers have lost 5 games in, and now they have 6 left to play, and there's a couple more losses on the way, for sure on the road. Hard discussion and hard decisions have to be made. We had all the smoke, but we have not had enough flame, enough fire, enough winning to roast a weenie.
Well, that is the unfortunate part.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is All-Star Weekend in the NBA. The festivities beginning tonight, but it was the festivities last night around the NBA that have a lot of people talking. That's because the commissioner has somewhat put his foot down, at least tried to start putting his foot down for some of these tanking situations, finding the Jazz for sitting all of their guys in the fourth quarter. Now, the Jazz, they were asked about it. Will Hardy, after that game, was asked about the fine and you know why he was sitting his players, and he said, I mean, these guys are on minutes restrictions. If the medical team says that they're not playing, then I'm not going to play them more than what they're supposed to be played. So we'll see where it goes from here. I don't think these fines to both Utah and Indiana is really going to stop much. The Jazz were fined $500,000, while the Pacers were fined $100,000. So we'll see if this puts a stop to it. My guess would be it doesn't, but at least for the people that have been screaming out about it, at least the commissioner doing something to try to do something about tanking.
100,000 in the NBA.
Yeah,
that's LOL, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
My not top story, Trinidad Chambliss. He will play for Ole Miss this fall after the day in court in Pittsboro, Mississippi yesterday in Calhoun County. And what it means is now a heavy spring and summer and an off season of love for Ole Miss. It's not slowing down at Ole Miss, and they're going to get the magazines and the early lists and the early predictions. They're going to get all of that. The last 5 years, 52 wins for Ole Miss. That first AP poll in August, they should be no worse than around number 5. Okay, maybe number 6. That would be fitting. 5 or 6 with Quan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss. But they're going to get the summertime love and the hype. And that Ole Miss football team next year, it will be prolific on offense, as the Lane Kiffin teams were, and Pete Golding with John David Baker and Joe Judge, as they're going to be. But it's going to be more defensive next year. Ole Miss didn't win a single game last year because of its defense. They didn't win a defensive game. They had big plays. They had some stops late in the game, some fortunate, a lot of times, like in the Arkansas game, breaks made by the defense that helped to win games. But just raw winning on defense, they didn't do it last year. This defense this year will be able to.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of excitement around this Ole Miss football program. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we return, we're talking some wagering. Alan Bell from Driving the Line, he joins us next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center. Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
I can't tell you the number of times I've heard people tell me that they wanted to wait until spring to put their home on the market. This is Sheldon Rosengarten at Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and think about it. In March, April, when the azaleas bloom, so do the real estate signs. More competition. We've been in an unusual market in the last year, and to get an edge on other homes on the market, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. I've developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. From the preparation before you go on the market to the presentation and keeping you informed every step of the way, it's rare that we cannot provide results. That's why people often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Write it down or call me now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you. Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up. Down home way, hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents getting some attention. What we're seeing right now is that traffic developing going outbound on Sam Cooper as you come past Perkins. It's picked up even more trying to get south of Memphis. A little bit of radar down through there earlier south of Memphis on 55 through certain parts of DeSoto County. So watch yourself. Hey, check out the animals that are available for adoption right now at the Humane Society of Memphis Shelby County. Go to their website, memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some wagering. Alan Bell from Driving the Line, he joins us now. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get into this afternoon, but let's start with the Super Bowl last Sunday night. What'd you make of the game? Certainly a defensive matchup between the Patriots and the Seahawks. What'd you make of Super Bowl 60?
You only nailed everything with us last Friday.
Hey, there we go. I'm trying to make a little money off of it, right? First off, appreciate you guys having me back. And second off, that was a fascinating game. Shout out to the Seahawks. Obviously got the job done. Sam Darnold, good to see that. The biggest question I had was, would you have given the MVP to Kenneth Walker, right? Memphis kid, deserved it, or the kicker who set a record? I'm kind of with Walker here, but I get the kicker setting a record. It was a fascinating game from the Seahawks side, not much from the Patriots side.
Brian, you first. Walker's from here, so it's overwhelming for us here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm glad he won. He was my pick. I had a bet on him to win the Super Bowl MVP. I wanted the chaos, though, Alan. I wanted to see a kicker win Super Bowl MVP. I'll be honest.
And
I'll say,
I'm watching down the stretch of that game, and I was thinking back to the Sugar Bowl with Ole Miss, and I'm thinking strong case for Lucas Carnero to be the MVP, but the quarterback went over 300 yards passing, so then that was much easier than that. But Walker, without the touchdown, made it difficult. They just do not want to give it to a kicker.
No, and honestly, and I'll say this, and that was the big point, was that nothing against the kicker at all. I'm glad that they gave it to Walker because, I mean, the dude literally had the team on his back. Sure, you know what I mean? He had as many yards as everybody else. So I was glad that they gave it to him. But, yeah, that was kind of the big talk. Like, the Super Bowl was just the Seahawks. We didn't get to see any of the Patriots really at all.
Sam Darnold, and that's one of the few picks. You were 5-2 with us on side, total, props. You were 5-2 with us. You had Sam Darnold as the MVP. He was not the game. He was not voted the MVP. But he did poach the trip to Disneyland with Kenneth Walker and all the advertising. I didn't know that it went to the winning quarterback and the MVP. He kind of photobombed the trip to Disneyland. But he had a game where he knew 19 of 38, 202, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's enough.
Oh, yeah, big time. And that is funny of him photobombing it down there, going along with Walker on that trip. You know, and speaking of that, right, like I think that Darnold realized, as I think that we all did when watching that game, of saying, you know what, the Seahawks don't have to go down and score touchdowns. Keep kicking field goals. Don't turn the ball over. Run the – I mean, I feel like all of us collectively, like, kind of became that coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, all right, just fundamental, play football, because the Patriots' offense is just smoke, man. They just didn't have it. So, yeah, he didn't have to do a whole lot, but they were smart. Don't try to do a lot. Just go out and win the game.
And, Alan, this week has already been illustrative of it. The offseason is going to be brutal on the AFC champions, on the runner-up. It's going to be awful on the Patriots. It's already started.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's fascinating what happens to teams after a Super Bowl loss, right? Like, I don't know what we're going to see from New England, however, with Mike Bradley. You know he's going to get there, but that offense completely fell apart throughout the playoffs, man. They're going to have to address that one for sure.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. Now, look, we always, do this with the Super Bowl champs, but it kind of feels a little different. I think it's partially because of that quarterback at Seattle. I feel like we see the Super Bowl champ and go, okay, here it goes, and this is how the dynasty gets started.
The next big thing.
That's right. How do you view the Seattle team going forward?
Well, look, they're going to be good. They're going to be well coached. They're going to have talent all over the roster. Mm-hmm. But to go on a run like they did, I feel like the NFL now is it's like you've got to find a team that's going to go on that 4-game stretch and just kind of go unconscious there, man. And not that I'm taking anything away from Seattle, but it's like, the Eagles could be that team that does that next year. The Broncos, right? If we didn't see an injury for them. And again, I'm not taking away from Seattle, but man, like when you start to look at it from, next year perspective, man, we got a lot of teams. It's just, I guess, injuries, man. I guess that's what we're getting down to,
And luck and decent, good fortune. Here's the toughest thing for Seattle's assignment for next year, being in the NFC West and having to play the Rams and the 49ers, and, the Cardinals can't get any worse. They got to get a pulse.
They do have to get a pulse. You think so, right, man? You're not lying about that, man. The NFC West, absolutely. I mean, it's like it's just brutal. And if Arizona gets good, my goodness, the NFC North has got turned into that. But Yeah, we see Matthew Stafford coming back for the Rams, too. They're going to be in the mix as long as San Francisco is, too.
Yeah. Talking to Alan Bell. He joins us every Friday to talk some wagering. Opening day today in college baseball. I know you're always on top of college baseball. I know you probably have some plays for tonight, but before we get there, who do you like this year as a whole, kind of that Omaha teams that could really make runs this season around the country?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously we have to start with LSU, reigning national champions. They've got all the talent, coaching, the recruiting, transfer portal, all of it. LSU's going to be there. Now, the other question is this. Arkansas. Is this the year for Arkansas to get the job done? And I don't say that as a negative. It's hard to do it, right? But Dave Van Horn and the Razorback team, elite pitching, elite hitting, arguably the best coaching staff in the country, one of them up there. I think it starts with those two. And then we move on. How does Tennessee look after Tony Vitello? We're going to find out. I believe they're starting now against Nichols. It's just opening day. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Ole Miss taking on Nevada, I believe, right?
Yeah.
We've got games all over the place. Man. What are you guys looking at today?
Alan, I'm with you on Arkansas. They're kind of they and FSU are always that. It's just almost impossible to believe that they've never won it with all the good teams and all the good players, the great facilities, the great fan support. But here's somebody else that has kind of put Dave Van Horn on notice. His boss, the biggest joke in college sports, Hunter Yurchek, has not signed him to a new deal. He's working through the current contract, wants a new deal done, and Yurchek won't commit to it. He wants to see how this year ends before he commits further. I think that he thinks, I've been told by people, he thinks he can get any number of people that can come in and do at least what he's been doing and maybe put a ribbon around it and win one.
Man, that you talk about a program with the talent that they have and the coach basically needing to prove it, right? Like, I mean, my goodness, man, the pressure that's going to go along with that. And look out. They could certainly do that, or that could backfire.
Sure could.
Tremendously. You look at a team like Florida. I mean, they have all the talent in the world, but it feels like, the craziness and everything that's going on with, their head coach and internally and all that. It's like, man, you got these programs that have talent just everywhere, but can they get the job done?
Mm-hmm. And I think Georgia football has got some of these NBA-type ADs, all these marketing type, and used to work in the ticket office ADs. I think that's got people going, we're real close. Georgia made the move with Rick, and it worked with Kirby Smart. Here's the downside to that, though. Nebraska at one time, Solich wasn't cool enough for them, and look at out of control that their program's been in ever since. You may find that guy that comes in a year or two that all your dreams come true. What if you get the wrong guy and you go backwards?
Oh, 100%. And, buddy, let me tell you this. If they didn't pick Van Horn up, or if Arkansas didn't, he would be unemployed for about 38 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, that man would have schools lining up. And great points brought by you in regards to that, because it's a very risky game. Take a look in Nashville. They got rid of Mike Vrabel, and a lot of people are saying, whoa. Let's not do that. And
Tennessee football, one time, Philip Fulmer just wasn't cool enough anymore, had to make a change. How did that work out in all those years after that?
I know. They were searching for it forever, went through years and years and years. Like, you're exactly right. It's such a tough decision, but, we're going to find out. I certainly understand Arkansas fans. They're saying, hey, we want to win. We're good enough to do it. I certainly get that. But, Arkansas fans, they're good. They're good sports fans. And I know that they're sitting saying, man, we're playing a risky game here, yeah.
They are great fans, and I hope it works in reverse and it costs Hunter Yurachek his job. I hope Van Horn on about May 10th is cruising to a 1 seed and racking up wins, winning SEC series. And the fans are starting to learn of this kind of leaving him in limbo, and enough big money walks in and goes, he's staying, you're gone.
100%. That money speaks, brother. You're exactly right on that.
It sure does.
It sure does. Every time.
When you'll fly an airplane over a football stadium to fire a coach, they'll sure walk in and tell Hunter you're a check to haul.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'd love to have money for one season. You know what I mean? Like, to do fun stuff. I'd love to have money one season.
Yeah,
That's why I need to win the Powerball. Every church in town, I'll donate to the building fund.
That's right.
10%. Let's go, brother.
Alan, obviously, with opening day, a lot of lines out there. We've got some fun tournaments with some really good matchups. Anything you like tonight around college baseball?
Yeah. I'll tell you this, man. We got great games all over the country and in Puerto Rico, all of right. UC Santa Barbara, Southern Miss, going to be a great series here. You got the total at 9.5. Two excellent pitching teams, but that total is low. I like the over in that game. Also like the over in UAB Florida of 12. And for the most part, what you're going to kind of do is try to money line parlay two teams together that you think are going to win, right? So you got to mix and match teams like Ole Miss today and Vanderbilt taking on a really good TCU team, right? Arizona pairing that with a North Carolina, so to say. So those are the teams that I like. You got to do some mixing matching in these games. But happy opening day. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And for today, it looks like we drew a weather across a lot of our footprint that some of the totals aren't going to be higher than the temperature.
Yes, exactly right. And that's a good point, too. You know, the first month of baseball, you know, all the screw-up playing baseball. It doesn't matter if you're college, major league, or little league. When it's cold, it hurts, and you can't hit as well, right? So, you definitely got that. Also, starting pitchers going to be on big pitch counts. They're not going to burn their arms early.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. It's going to be a fun opening weekend around college baseball. Quickly, before we run out of time, over with college basketball, some fun matchups tomorrow, especially in the SEC. You've got one top 25 matchup, 2:00 tomorrow on ABC. Kentucky on the road at Florida. Florida has taken their game to another level over the last couple of weeks. They're looking like a Final Four national championship caliber team again. But right now, they are an 11.5-point favorite, total 152.5 against Kentucky tomorrow. Kentucky, they're coming off that big win last Saturday against Tennessee. What do you make of this matchup tomorrow?
I'll tell you, I like the over 152.5 in this game. Now, don't get me wrong, Florida is steamrolling people, but you know what? Kentucky's playing good basketball right now, too. Not only that Tennessee win, but keep going.
Yeah.
They've been winning some big games. So I think that, you know, if you want to play Kentucky plus 11.5, not a bad look. I think it's easier, though, to just play the over because you're definitely going to get offense from Florida, and, buddy, I think you're going to get it from Kentucky, too.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anything else you like tonight or tomorrow in college basketball?
Yeah, I'll tell you tonight. So you got two fun looks, all right? Michigan State minus 1.5. Taking on Wisconsin. That's going to be an excellent game. And then you have Miami of Ohio, who is 24-0. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx the boys, but minus 9.5, Miami of Ohio, I'm feeling it. So take the 9.5, and then Michigan State minus 1.5 against Wisconsin.
I like it. And that game, that Miami-Ohio game tonight, that got moved to ESPN, so that will be the entire country can get a good look at Miami, Ohio tonight. So that should be a ton of fun. But Alan, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Look forward to it, guys. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. Brian, Miami of Ohio, you know all that good work's done for them in the net?
Not much.
51.
Oh, wow. It's a lot better than I thought it would be.
One spot ahead of Tulsa, one behind Virginia Tech. And you're all your young youth baseball. What's the coldest you ever played in?
We played some pretty cold games. I don't know exactly what it was, but we.
Do you remember some standing out?
Oh yeah, no, I remember a handful that were extremely brutal.
Weekend, you know, at Division II and other levels of college baseball, it started last week.
Yeah.
I saw video of a game. The pitcher could not see home plate for all the snow.
Yeah, I believe it. There were some teams, I think it was Division II, that had games on like the last day of January. I mean, like it's way too early to start baseball. That's way too early.
That makes my elbow sore just thinking about it.
Yeah, not much good can come from playing in that type of weather.
Every time we have a really cold game in football and everybody's all bundled up, David Kellum will always say, doesn't touch the coldest he's ever been in his life, whether it's hunting, football, whatever, coldest he's ever been, late March, like 27th, 28th of March, late March, in a game down at Auburn.
Oh, wow, really?
He said it wins
Holy
everything.
yeah.
Liberty Bowls, Music City Bowls, there's no cold like that.
March really is that month where you really feel like, okay, spring is here, we're right there, and then you'll get those really, really cold days. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me very much at all. But we were talking some college baseball. It's a good time to remind people we are the home of Ole Miss baseball, just like Ole Miss football and Ole Miss basketball. So we'll have their games this weekend. Tonight, the Ole Miss baseball game against Nevada. We will join that in progress when we are done right here at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow, no baseball because Ole Miss Mississippi State basketball at 5 o'clock. We'll start that coverage. And then Sunday, we'll be back with Ole Miss baseball against Nevada at 1 p.m. So you trying to tune in for Ole Miss baseball, really Ole Miss athletics in general, Sports 56, that is the place to be. But let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk some more Tigers, talk about that loss last night against North Texas. That's next on Sports Time.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorn flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-511-5493. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-511-5493. That's 800-511-5493. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we talked about it a lot to start today's show, but it was a loss that dropped Memphis to back down to 500. 12-12 now on the season. 76-69, the final score against North Texas. Really just a super sloppy game from the Tigers, and North Texas capitalized on that. I mentioned earlier some of those hustle categories, getting the points off some of those hustle categories. They really thrived in those departments last night. So now Memphis with a loss. Now 2 more road games coming up over the next week. Both will be very difficult games, but it was not pretty last night.
It wasn't, and 2 very difficult road games coming up. 1 non-conference, and to complete the non-conference portion of the schedule in middle of February, and then next Thursday night at South Florida. I think most would expect the Tigers to lose those games. Mm-hmm. That would drop the Tigers to 2 under 500. Yeah. Then with 2 games at home against UAB and Wichita State, I think most would say the Tigers will win those games. In fact, when I say most think the Tigers are going to lose the next 2, Saturday night, for whatever this means, ESPN Analytics, the matchup predictor, 86% predicting Utah State.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Old Kim Pom, just because I have it pulled up, 91% chance for Utah State to win on Saturday.
Ken Pom was great this morning.
Yeah.
Did you catch it?
I got to go back and listen to it. I had a very busy morning, so I wasn't able to catch it.
I didn't know he had that
but
much personality about it.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
Never heard him.
Well, yeah, it's very very rare. You kind of got to go find him when he goes on places.
It was really
but yeah,
good.
A really good
is
gift
that
for the morning show.
On the front of featured audio?
I'm sure it is. Don't quote me on that. I haven't been able to look, but yeah, I'm sure it's up there. Yeah.
All right. So if you're 500 going into March, and then 2 out of 3 games at home, 1 out of 3, only 1 out of 3 in March at home for the Tigers, and that's against South Florida. I still think they'll go 2-1 in those games. I mean, the very real prospect of a 16-15 season, maybe even 17-14. 1-1 at the conference tournament. Wow, nobody had that coming. Nobody.
Yeah, and we mentioned it yesterday. Only 3 home games remaining for the Tigers, and you mentioned one of those being South Florida. This is a coach in Brian Hodgson. He has a couple players on his team this year at South Florida that came in last year with Arkansas State and beat Memphis inside FedEx Forum. So he's certainly comfortable doing that. I think that would be a really, really interesting game. But you talk about those other games, I think very winnable. And then the rest are on the road, and the Tigers have shown all season that they are not a very good road team. You look at the road game against East Carolina, they have really struggled all season. I think that's a very winnable game. But then the last game of the season against Tulane, this Tulane team came into FedEx Forum and beat the Tigers. Going down there will be tough. So I brought it up yesterday. I don't trust this team, and so looking at the rest of their schedule, I think there's a handful of games that are very winnable. But I really can't trust this team to go out there and win any of these games, minus maybe East Carolina, because they're really bad.
Today, if the season ended today, the Tigers would be the 6th seed. That would be playing the winner of the 7 versus 10 game that's on Wednesday. The Tigers would play the winner of that game on Thursday in Birmingham. That would be an 8 o'clock Central Thursday night game. And that's if they finish 6th.
Yeah. Ooh, man. Those 8 o'clock games, man, those are rough. I'm not.
I feel 7 or 8 more in play than 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think looking at the schedule again, you've got South Florida who is at the top of the conference right now. You've got Wichita State that it's a home game, but that's a Wichita State team that's already beaten you once this year. Tulane, a team that's beaten you already this year, and then South Florida twice in there, and East Carolina, UAB, you have beaten on the road. I still say that this conference, the American, is so crazy that I wouldn't be surprised with anything. They could finish anywhere on that bracket. I think outside of probably the top 2, and I don't think I would be very surprised just because of what this conference is. But if anybody asked me today what seed the Tigers finish in, I would have no answer. I have no idea. It is just going to be a wild ride over these next couple of weeks to see what happens. But it is a quick turnaround tomorrow night against Utah State, a 7 p.m. tip on CBS Sports Network. We'll talk a lot more about last night's game, about tomorrow night's matchup. Jason Munz, he'll join us at 5 o'clock to talk all things Tigers. But right now we need to wrap up this first hour, get to another break, and when we return, we're going to talk some more wagering. Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider and CBS Sports, he joins us next.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
By February, a lot of men hit the same spot. They're still showing up, still disciplined, still doing the work, but the results don't line up like they used to. Energy drops faster. Metabolism pushes back harder. For men over 40, that's frustrating. They didn't get lazy. They didn't lose an edge. What changed was their biology. After 40, your body starts playing by different rules, even if you don't. That's why M-Drive exists. M-Drive builds supplements specifically for men over 40 based on how male biology actually changes, not hype, trends, or shortcuts. Their lead product is Boost and Burn, designed for everyday use. Supports steady energy and metabolism. No spikes, no crashes. It's not about grinding harder. It's about supporting the work you already do. M-Drive's the #1 men's health brand at Sprouts, also available on Amazon, or get 20% off your first purchase at mdriveformen.com. The code is HERD, H-E-R-D. Taking care of your health matters. Don't put it off. M-Drive for men who still show up.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Sports 56 traffic.
Absolutely. We see THP hanging around I-40, especially out in parts of Fayette County this afternoon. So watch your speed out there around New Airline Road 269 up and down I-40 as it builds through Midtown. Even more in the last few minutes, especially going southbound on 240 here at South Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your Valentine's Day headquarters, especially for last-minute shopping. Go by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Canadian Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Friday afternoon. We got to talk some more wagering, and we do it at this time every single Friday afternoon with Bruce Marshall.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, bamsports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with handicapping and sports talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Bryant and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joins us now to talk some wagering. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get into this afternoon, but let's start with the Super Bowl on Sunday. It was a win by the Seahawks. It was a defensive matchup, a lot of special teams, a lot of punts, a lot of field goals. What did you make of what you saw in Super Bowl 60?
Yeah, Brian, we talked about it last week, how in the past, though, most of recent Super Bowls have been pretty good, and some real corkers in there. But historically, a lot of one-sided and sort of unappealing matchups. This one was about as dull, though, I thought, as almost any that we had seen. And the final margin wasn't quite as big as some of the blowouts we've seen in the past, but it was pretty decisive. And the fact, the one that sort of came up to me was, this is a long time ago, was the Steelers-Vikings Super Bowl. The last game played at Old Tulane Stadium, January of '75. Vikings only scored on a blocked punt in that game, but that game was taut. It looked like you might have a grandstand finish. They blocked a punt in the fourth quarter, cut the score to 9-6. This one, you just never got the feeling New England could do anything. And I think they were sort of unmasked in this game. And some of the things we talked about last week, that this whole thing was a function of, just breaks in the AFC going their way, injuries elsewhere, running into the right teams at the right time, the schedule. That was all pretty much confirmed, though a bit more emphatically than I thought. I mean, it was had this game been like a regular season game in November in Seattle, would have been in that late afternoon TV window. I would have switched it off and watched the Cardinals game playing the Falcons or somebody instead, because it was that boring. And
networks would
really
have left that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was very disappointing, and the New England just couldn't figure out anything to do. And you wonder, the first Super Bowl they had in the Bay Area, the one at Stanford with the Dolphins and 49ers, also Dan Marino's second year, he never got back to another Super Bowl. Joe Burrow got there in his second year. I don't know when he's going to get back. I mean, there's no guarantee that Drake May is going to get another shot or that Drake May is good enough to get another shot. So this might have been just a one-time shot for the Patriots, and the luck ran out. I mean, they finally faced a team that didn't have any of those advantages they had earlier in the season, and the scoreboard reflected it.
Bruce, you had this game pegged. You said 27-15, 29-13. I call that pegged.
You said 27-0. You were technically, I think, more correct. Because, I mean, that game, that looked like a shutout about to happen until Seattle sort of loosened up there in the fourth quarter. But it was.
But you know what Vegas does with technically correct tickets.
Yes, they were. And the only
you can wallpaper in your bathroom with those, but you won.
That's right.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, and the only drama really, I know most people I knew had the under, and I sort of had it under as well. And it looked a very comfy under until right at the end. If they didn't call that long Kenneth Walker 3-touchdown back just outside of the 2-minute warning, that thing would have cleared 45.5. So that was about the only drama in the game. If the over was going to cash, but there was no drama in the game whatsoever.
Bruce, another example of life is just too short to bet unders.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, if you had the, it would have been thrilling if you had the over there and all of a sudden you had a chance. But yeah, every week, every night, in college hoops too, NBA. I wonder, why do I do this for a living? But I mean, that's sometimes you win those, sometimes you lose them.
And that Super Bowl now, with that loss, New England, they moved to 6 wins all time, 6 losses. I think that's about right for their 12 Super Bowl appearances. It could be a little bit better, but it could be a lot worse. If I'm them, I take 6 up, 6 down on Super Sunday.
It could be a lot worse for them. I mean, I'm still mad at the Seahawks and Falcons for blowing games they never, ever should have lost to the Patriots. And frankly, the Rams, if they just did a little bit in that game, could have beaten the Patriots too. So 6-6 in retrospect, I think it should be more like 4-8 for them, because they got a gift handed to them on the platter by both Seattle and Atlanta in those Super Bowls decade plus ago.
Even the Eagles Carolina wins were really competitive games.
Oh, they were, and they were close. And the first one with the Rams was close, although the last play of the game. So was the Carolina last play of the game. Could have went either way. Though those were some great games. I still say the Carolina New England game was the best Super Bowl ever. The way that thing really opened up in the second half in the fourth quarter. I think if you pull back to 30,000 feet and look down at New England Super Bowl history, they're fortunate to be 6-6 in the final game.
Do you think you have any fears, suspicions that we might be on an 80s type NFC run, starting with that really the last 2 years of dull Super Bowls?
It's possible. It's possible. I'm trying to think, if Kansas City is really a spent force here, who's going to step into that vacuum? Buffalo has yet to do it. And, oh, by the way, I do think Buffalo is probably the only AFC team that would have given Seattle a fight. Just like I thought Buffalo would have given the Eagles a much better fight last year than Kansas City did. But they can't get, over that hurdle in the AFC. And in the NFC, we've got to be careful, because at this time last year you wondered who's going to beat the Eagles. They weren't the same the next year. I kind of get the feeling Seattle's built a little bit better for the long haul. Maybe. I will say this year they were a worthy champion. In fact, the real Super Bowl, I think, was 2 weeks before against the Rams. The Rams were the only team that sort of solved Seattle's defense this year. Nobody else did. And you look at all the meager point totals, everybody against that defense except the Rams. The Rams got to be kicking themselves, because they had a shot this year, and this window's not going to stay open much longer for Stafford. He's not going to retire yet because he's off an MVP year, but every year now, I mean, does he have 1-2 more years? It's got a short term with him. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a really good point. We're talking to Bruce Marshall. He joins us every single Friday. Talk a lot of things. Talk some wagering, get some picks here in a minute. But the Winter Olympics going on right now in Italy. Right now, I've got this U.S. women's hockey game on right now. U.S. In complete control, 6-0. It's gotten a little chippy at times throughout this game. But what have you made over the last couple of days of the Winter Olympics?
Interesting. USA, if you played on the puck line here, was -7.5. The total was 7.5. So the oddsmakers figured Italy not to score, and I'm seeing 6-0 right now. I don't know if this they say it's live, so we'll see. About 12 minutes left. Hockey is good. Canada is up on Switzerland right now after the second period. I think this Canada team looks awfully loaded. They're probably headed for a showdown with the USA at the end. I would probably favor Canada right now, just because this is in the NHL in Olympics era. This is the best team that I've seen. They are so deep. 4 lines come at you. I'm a little questioning about Jordan Binnington in goal. He has had a rough year in St. Louis, but John Cooper seems to trust him, and he did win in the Four Nations last year for Canada. So he's riding Binnington, it looks like. The Americans are riding Hellebuck, and he has not had a great year either. But if they do get to a final versus Canada, like they did in the Four Nations, I know Canada won last year, but Hellebuck might give a little edge in goal over Binnington, I would think. But we'll not jump too far ahead of ourselves. Everything else, I've actually enjoyed it. I think NBC's actually done a much better job this year. Being in Milan is great because I'm familiar with all the sites there. Because I got my daughter, my grandkids live right nearby there, so that is really cool. I love the drones, and I wonder if the guys who invented drones ever envisioned that it would be used to cover the luge like that and fly behind the guys. It's way down the list, but it works. Speaking of luge, in the interest of human decency, I think they should scuttle the two-man luge. Just don't want to watch it. Everything else, though, I'm really enjoying the Olympics here.
Bruce, I bet you've got a lot of Milan, Italy stamps in your passport, don't you?
I do, and I should send you some pictures. When we were last in Milan was Christmas last year, 2024, and they had it already decorated for the Olympics down there in front of the Duomo, and that big ornate mall, the Rinascente, is right across from the Duomo. It is very breathtaking. So that's where a lot of the pictures are. But I'm very familiar seeing all those sites in Milan, yeah.
Bruce, does your daughter, her husband, are the children, are they learning Italian?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should show you their school is Italian. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
My granddaughter's, they're fully fluent in both. And
how about that?
She just had her seventh birthday this week. And
does your wife speak?
My wife is Spanish, so she's from Spain, so it's Spanish for her and English, and then my son-in-law is Italian and English. So the kids, the girls are both, and their school is all Italian. So yeah.
Do you ever have to say stop where I can understand you?
Even my wife doesn't understand me sometimes. So
that's great.
They understand English. English is sort of their first. My daughter speaks English first, so that was sort of their first language. But that's it. You teach them young like that, they pick it up real quick.
That's really cool.
Do they have the dialect and the colloquialisms down?
A little bit, because there's some words you could tell. They sound a little like my son-in-law speaking English sometimes because he has an accent. So some words does, but a lot of times they sound more like my daughter.
Wow. That is really, really interesting.
On the drones, let me get this in.
Yeah, please.
What do you think they had a wager on? The first thing we do with the drone, record the luge or arm it, and it be a weapon of war.
Yeah.
I think the latter. I think weapon of war was more, and delivering things for Uber and things like that. I'm sure luge was way down the list. Those I tell you, if I have to have a new career, I'd like to be the guy who operates the drone camera. I saw a little special on him, and those things fly like little birds all around, and there's a guy controlling it. Very cool. I wish I could do that.
That is really, really cool. Bruce, I was thinking about this earlier today when I knew we were having you on this afternoon. The NBA, it's been reported that this offseason they're likely to vote on expanding in the NBA. We know that Vegas and Seattle are the two favorites right now. I know you're in and around Vegas a lot. What is the talk around Vegas about the potential of the NBA expanding to Las Vegas?
Bryant, they expect it to happen. It's just another, of when. Perhaps it'll be later this year. There will be a spirited bidding for the franchise. LeBron has already stated he wants to be involved. I mean, it's so much money involved right now. No one guy can do it. But he could be part of a group, and it may help. They've already talked. They would build another arena here. I can't tell you how many we have. They would build another one for the NBA team. So that's coming. Seattle apparently is there. There is also, this NBA Europe they're talking about, though they're still cutting through a lot of red tape with that. There's already a basketball league over in Europe. And there's heavy negotiations going on with some of the soccer names. Real Madrid has a basketball team. Barcelona has a basketball team. There's a lot of them over there that have soccer teams too. And whether they want to join this NBA or not, or how it's going to work, that's the next frontier. But I think this thing expanding in the States is probably closer, although I'm still not sure how soon that's going to happen. You've got to convince the existing owners. They would get a pretty good windfall from the expansion fee. But going forward, they slice that pie up just a little bit more. So it's not a complete slam dunk that they're ready to do this, but from all indications are Vegas and Seattle are next.
All right, and Bruce, what do you think that fee will be? $2-3 billion? What will the ownership group have to pay to the NBA?
Probably there, if not a little higher.
Yeah.
They're just seeing the way the value of these franchises are going now. They're seeing what the Lakers went for. They may be the outlier there, but when you're talking about a $10 billion with a B valuation for the Lakers, that may have been inflated for some other things, but still. And look at Boston went for. I mean, 3 might be shortchanging it a bit. It may be beyond that. So they're going to. It's going to need some sort of a consortium to do it. And I think right now, LeBron's just probably, among others, lining up to see who he wants to make a bid with. By the way, Kevin Durant apparently wants to be involved in Seattle too. So keep an eye on that developing as well.
So approved later this year. Opening night when? What year?
If they did it this year, it would be 28 or 29 probably. So it would have to be a couple of years away. I mean, that might be a bit soon. I would say 29, 30 probably.
Bruce, you know the national championship game of college football will be played next January in Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas. I'm coming to see you next January. Ole Miss.
There you go. I should be here.
Game, Bruce.
I should be here.
I know you don't like to go to the Strip, but you got to go with me.
Well, yeah, I did. We actually went to a Raider game this year, so if I went to watch that lousy team, I could sure go down there for another game, that's for sure.
That is fair. Speaking of the NBA, Bruce, what do you make of the tanking? And I know everyone's talking about the Utah Jazz right now. What do you make of this? It feels like it's going to be a lot of it through the rest of the season. And how is it affecting kind of how you're handicapping some of these games?
Well, the thing is, some of these teams are running into each other, both trying to lose. And I remember reading a story once. Now, they're not fixing the games and things, but they talked about back in the 50s in New York when 2 college basketball teams played each other and both were trying to throw the game. How funny that was to watch. It was just a comedy of errors. Now, it's different now. Now they're just benching guys, starters in the fourth quarter and things. But like when Utah plays Sacramento, what do you do? Because they're both urine it down. It's a big problem. I think, actually, this connects. It's been going on for a while, but it really connects back to when Sam Hinkie was the GM of the Sixers. And he's the one who really first prioritized this losing and tanking and turned it into sort of an art form. And all it did for him, they ended up getting Joel Embiid out of it, but that was about it. And they were so bad at some point, NBA really kind of stepped in there, and Hinkie was sort of forced out when they were sitting at 1-22 about 8 or 9 years ago. It's a major issue, and it's regrettable. And now I don't know how they're going to tame it, but this is why the NBA. You don't see this happening in the NHL. You don't. MLB is different. You got some franchises that can't financially compete, but they never really just roll over like this. And you would never see that in the NFL. I mean, look at this past year. You get teams like the Saints and the Falcons kept playing hard all the way through. That's why the NFL is on this pedestal. There's hope. I mean, look at this year. These teams have turned it around. New England had 4 wins last year. They're in the Super Bowl this year. Things can happen like that in the NFL. The NBA, with this shenanigans going on now, and it's just sort of the way the game has evolved. There's a lot of factors to it. There's the star system, and everybody thinks they got to get this one star. The way the referees protect the star, the whole thing is just a mess in basketball. And I think they've sort of allowed it to get this far, and I don't know how they're going to work their way out of it. I mean, they say that all they have to do if they can come up with injuries for guys to hold them out. How's Adam Silver going to police that? I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. We know the NBA on their All-Star break, those festivities getting started tonight, but college basketball, it's still going. A handful of games tonight and a ton of games tomorrow.
Ivy League Friday night.
That's exactly right. Oh, don't forget about Miami, Ohio, Brett, tonight on the big ESPN. Anything you like tonight, Bruce, around college basketball?
Yeah, a couple of good ones here. This is Wisconsin-Michigan State game is pretty good in the Big Ten. Wisconsin's back in the safe side of the cut line with these recent road wins over Michigan and Illinois. Michigan State even beat Illinois this week. Little bumpier for Michigan State lately. Some of the other stuff's going on. I kind of like that one over the total. They're both going over a lot, 148 or so. That looks like it can go over to me. two in the MAC tonight. One of them is at Miami, Ohio, you talked about. What a story this is, 24-0. Look, they're a fun team to watch. Look at the stat line nationally. They're almost pulling the trifecta. They lead the nation in scoring. They lead the nation in field goal percentage, 6th in three-point percentage. All these sharp shooters, Banks, Suter, Travis Steele's done a great job. But the last 6 games, they got 2 that went to overtime and 2 others decided by just 2 points. Ohio U ain't that bad, and this collar is going to start tightening on Miami O being unbeaten. And we saw, Arizona earlier this week finally succumb. In their case, Miami, though, Arizona was already into the tournament, I think. Miami O's still not secure at large. So still, though, I might take Ohio U tonight. The other top contender in the MAC is Akron, and they lost by 3 to Miami O earlier last month. Good team, John Gross, Davari Johnson, really good guard. They are laying 13.5 or so tonight to UMass. That's Frank Martin. Much better this year. In fact, they've got 5 losses since New Year's by 11 points total. So you're getting 13.5 with UMass. The portal worked really good for Martin. Marcus Banks, this guard from Maryland, Baltimore County, scored 37 the other night. They can stay within that tonight. And we also got St. Louis going tonight against that poor Loyola Chicago. Boy, St. Louis, they're like Miami, Ohio, if not a little bit better. Balanced scoring, they're just a joy to watch. You're laying like 19 tonight. I'd still do it. I'd lay it with the Billikens.
Bruce, have you ever been to Ivy League versus Ivy League, Jim, to a game?
I saw Penn at an Ivy League gym. No, I have been to the Palestra, and I've been in a couple of those at Harvard, too, but I've never seen a game there. I did see Penn's Final Four team in December of 78 down in San Diego.
Whoa.
They lost a triple overtime game to Iowa in the Balboa Classic, and that was a really good Iowa team. I think got the Elite Eight, and Lute got them to the Final Four the next year. But that's one of the best games I ever saw. That was Penn's Final Four team, December of 78. That's the only one I think I've seen in person.
I used to have on my college football only bucket list to go to a Harvard-Yale game, and I used to think, after I read John Feinstein's book about the Patriot League, I know it was different than Ivy League. I used to think I wanted to go to some of those Ivy League gyms and see some of those games, and then I realized I don't want to be around them, and they don't want to be around me.
Yeah, I mean, you're sparing yourself a night of agony there too. The one cool one at Princeton, I will say this: that's the one Ivy League school I think is really cool, and where it's located. And that gym there is it's sort of futuristic, but it's like over 50 years old now, but it still looks good. Jadwin Gym, that would be a good one on a bucket list. And I've found Princeton people to be a little less pretentious than those Yale and Harvard types. We'll see.
I believe that. Last thing for you, Bruce, anything you like tomorrow around college basketball?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We got this really good one out here in the West Coast Conference, and that is Santa Clara is playing Gonzaga. Gonzaga is 3.5-point favorite. It's on ESPN tomorrow night. I might take Santa Clara here. I think they have really got it going right now, and I think they look really, really good. So that's one that I really might want tomorrow night. They are right on. This is for first place in the WCC as well. So that's one I would definitely look at. One other tomorrow. I'm not sure the price yet. Big Sky. Watch this Eastern Washington. Good team. They're hot now. They had a brutal pre-league schedule, like traveling like the Harlem Globetrotters. So they took some losses, but they were competitive. They're hot now. They play Weber State tomorrow. Short price. That's Dan Monson. Took Long Beach State to the dance a couple of years ago, and he's got Eastern Washington starting to play better. I would take
he started it all at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce, I know you didn't see Santa Clara in their Final Four year of 1952.
No, but I did talk to Dick Garibaldi, who ended up being the coach before he passed a few years ago, and he was on that team. And he said that was the first year where they had the Final Four at everybody together in one spot, and that was at Seattle. Heck Edmondson Pavilion at Washington, which is still there. They call it Alaska Airlines Arena. And he said the Jesuits at Santa Clara were so mean, the priests, they let them go to Seattle, but they had to go to class at Seattle U like that Thursday and Friday. No, no, just going to practice and get ready for the games. No, they had to go to class at Seattle U, which was another Jesuit school, before they could play in the Final Four on the weekend.
That's great. Well, it's going to be a fun weekend. Before we let you go, Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, thanks. Check me out online. Picks up there. Only college hoops this weekend because NHL is off for the Olympics and the NBA. Thank goodness there's a break for this All-Star thing this weekend. VegasInsider.com. Also, CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com. Picks with a different twist. WinnersandWhiners.com. PicksandParlays.com.
Bruce, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
Have a good weekend, boys.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. We will. Bruce Marshall with us every Friday, and he really is the world's most interesting man.
He absolutely
He should be on those ads.
Yeah, he absolutely should be. And I love his energy with the Winter Olympics, and I'm very excited for his energy come summertime when we're talking World Cup.
That's his favorite.
I know that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But definitely some good plays from him. Some fun games tonight and tomorrow night.
Alan Bell gave us a Santa Barbara baseball game, and Bruce gave us an Eastern Washington basketball.
Yeah. I actually haven't watched Eastern Washington this year. I've watched Weber State a handful of times this year. I like that play by Bruce. I like Eastern Washington
and a Dick Garibaldi reference.
How about that? Yeah, no, we're getting it in on a Friday afternoon.
Get it all in on Friday.
No kidding. But we're gonna get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, maybe you're looking for a place to eat this weekend. Well, you're in Memphis. You think of barbecue. You can get that world famous Memphis style barbecue any day at the Commissary. It was awarded the best barbecue in the city in the Commercial Appeals Best Barbecue in Memphis 2025 Bracket Showdown. You can visit either location in Germantown and in Collierville for lunch or dinner. But make sure you stop at the Collierville location and try their all-new, all-you-can-eat buffet. Available Monday through Friday. Pick and choose between 3 proteins, 5 sides, a salad, and a drink, all for just $15.95. For more than 40 years, the Commissary has been a staple in this area, and a major reason is because of the quality of food they serve. My go-to, it's got to be the ribs, but it's hard to resist that barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled, and get it by the plate or by the pound. It comes in handy with the sandwich pack. Feed the whole group with a 6-pack, 8-pack, even a 12-pack. And don't forget about the dessert, like the delicious banana pudding, the brownie, or the lemon icebox pie. Check out the entire menu and catering options at commissarybbq.com. Whether it's a party, maybe a watch party for a game over the weekend, let the Commissary cater your next event. Also, check out their private party rooms, perfect for any occasion. But today, stop in at either location. In Germantown, open daily until 8 p.m., and in Collierville, open until 9 p.m. for that world-famous Memphis-style barbecue at the Commissary. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we're talking the Razorbacks and the SEC. Ty Richardson, he joins us next.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Rooms got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Cranking it pretty good out here now on all the major outbound routes, especially trying to sneak through Midtown with that traffic volume increasing southbound here on 240 here at South Parkway. Couple of accidents in their cleanup stages. Watch for radar. It's been on and off for the last hour, maybe longer, out here on 40 around 269, pushing on out into Fayette County. Weimer's Jewelry is your last-minute Valentine's Day shopping headquarters. Stop by and see them right now at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some Razorbacks and the SEC. We do it at this time every single Friday with Ty Richardson.
Time to talk Razorbacks on Sports Time. Joining the guys is Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas to talk all things Hogs and SEC. On Twitter X at Ty Sports Radio, here's Ty Richardson with Bryant and Brett.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those Hogs!
Ty Richardson joins us now to talk some Razorbacks and the SEC from ESPN Arkansas and Fort Smith. You can find him on social media at Ty the Golf Guy. Ty, thanks so much for joining us. I know we're going to talk a lot of SEC hoops, talk the Razorbacks basketball team, but opening day around college baseball. Arkansas down at the event at Globe Life in Arlington. They'll go later tonight against Oklahoma State, but a lot of excitement. I know we asked you about it a couple weeks ago, about the excitement going into the season for the Razorbacks. Every year, so much excitement. I think right now, favored to win the conference on the betting markets. What is the talk around town today as the Razorbacks kick off the season?
Well, it's a cool part of the season being that, like you said, baseball gets going, basketball's in the midst of about 2/3 of conference play, kind of like the intersection of both football and basketball in November. So Arkansas fans are excited about this baseball team. You've got some familiar faces, some new kids you brought in, and some young freshmen. They're going to be vital contributors. And you do it in Dallas, the place that Arkansas fans are very familiar with, traveling to Reunion Arena in the Southwest Conference for many years, playing a couple of Southwest Conference opponents, plus a familiar foe in Oklahoma State. My brother's going. I've got a lot of friends going. It's an awesome event. They do a really good job down there at Globe Life.
It will be a Razorback Lollapalooza at Globe Life. That whole area, great ballpark, great setting for Razorback fans to enjoy. How are the fans taking it, Ty, and how much discussion have y'all had about Hunter Yurchek almost having Dave Van Horn in a prove-it year?
Yeah, I think that it's frustrating for Arkansas fans to see other SEC programs win the national championship. I joked. I was like, I looked at the schedule, and Bryant was talking about the odds there with conference, and I saw Georgia has better odds to win the national championship than the Razorbacks. I don't think I could do sports radio if another Dave Van Horn assistant coach wins before he does. But yeah, it's just a weird college dynamics has changed so much. I mean, we were talking about today, COVID year's thrown everything off, and so whether it's baseball, basketball, football, I mean, there's always just something that people are trying to figure out financially, and I know it's kind of a weird deal.
Mm-hmm. So what do you expect tonight? Do the Razorbacks get things started with a win tonight against Oklahoma State?
Man, this has been a really fun back and forth series, kind of like Arkansas and Missouri State. Gackle did not pitch that great as a starter a year ago. Was a much better bullpen guy. I would not be surprised if Holiday and company took this one tonight. I wouldn't mind seeing these guys in the postseason again. It's just been a really fun battle when these two go at it. I don't know why, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think Oklahoma State might get them tonight, guys.
They're on a collision course come May. That regional at Stillwater a few years ago when the Razorbacks whipped them, that got off the rails. It was some hard feelings at the end of that.
Yeah, it was. That was 2022. Like you said, Arkansas goes there before going to Chapel Hill for the Super Regional with North Carolina. In Stillwater, and you got to think about it, Stillwater and Fayetteville are close, just like Norman and Fayetteville. So there's a lot of Oklahoma State and Arkansas fans that know each other and familiar. They've got a brand new ballpark that's outstanding, just like what we've seen with the renovations to Baum Walker. So it's a really cool setup out there. And Arkansas walked away victorious. I mean, there was an epic one or two games between the Cowboys and the Razorbacks, and wouldn't be surprised if this one went to extras tonight.
And thank you, Ty, for correcting me. I'd forgotten that was in the first layer of the postseason. That was in regionals. That in super regionals. You're right. That was in Chapel Hill in 22. I'd forgotten it had gotten that contentious in that first round. But it did.
Isn't that wild? Yeah, Stats, you want to hear something crazier? I drove the 17 hours to Chapel Hill, which was something. The longest I'd ever driven in Bryant for a sporting event was when Arkansas played the Tar Heels in basketball in 2015. So I decided to follow that up 7 years later. I watched them lose in 2015 as a college sophomore. Well, I didn't follow that up years later traveling. I split the trip in Nashville and drove the rest of the way. But Chapel Hill is an awesome town, guys. I forget their communications director, but he let me explore the D-Dome, which was incredible.
Very nice.
It was worth the trip, let me tell you.
Yeah. I've never been, but I hear Chapel Hill is something to see. Mm-hmm. And you've seen the Razorbacks against them in a lot of sports.
Yeah, I would love to see Arkansas play them in the SEC Challenge. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be awesome to see Arkansas travel to either Chapel Hill or Durham to take on Duke. Now, Durham was cool, but it wasn't Chapel Hill. I enjoyed Chapel Hill a little bit more. Now, Raleigh, North Carolina is an incredible town. So you got that, again, those three college towns, massive colleges within about 20, 30 minutes of each other. It's remarkable.
Yeah. Our good friend Chuck Galena, who has had an entire great career in sports media, he said that the name of the North Carolina administrator that was so nice to you and it says he's a great guy was Steve Kirshner.
Yes. Yep, that's it. Yep, that's 100% it.
And everybody attests that he's one of the greats.
Yeah, and I sent him I sent him a cold email, and he responded that day.
Wow.
And they were in the midst of graduations. They had a bunch of chairs set up.
Isn't that nice?
But he showed us everything, and he was so nice. I got a chance to meet. I can't think of that kid's name. He's in the NBA now. And he was on that, I guess it would have been 22 team. I think he was going to be a sophomore, but it was just a really cool. I'm a basketball fanatic, so the experience to see Jordan and Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stack. I mean, there's so many jerseys up in the rafters, so it was about as cool as a moment as I got an experience that was.
Did you go see Carmichael where they played before Dean Dome?
Yes, I think they took. There was like a museum or something, if I remember that correctly. I I'm like 99% sure. I did go. Also went to the Durham Bulls ballpark with Bull Durham and Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
He showed me there's something else unique in Chapel Hill. I need to go back and just kind of refresh my memory on that. But it was.
Now you know the Razorbacks in North Carolina have played twice ever in football, both bowl games. CarQuest Bowl for Danny Ford, a loss, and the famous Fog Bowl, Gator Bowl, lost to North Carolina in Jacksonville in '81.
0-2, man. Yeah, I remember. The CarQuest Bowl sounds familiar. I couldn't. Of course, you know 81 off the top of your head. That's why they call you Stats. But, and
my buddy Mike Harris got a late game critical penalty on him. He was on the punt coverage team, and he did not touch the ball, but the ref said that he did. Replay clearly showed that he did not, and that ended up he was on the return team, and that ended up a critical fumble in the game for North Carolina. And Lou Holt's none too happy with my good buddy Moose Harris.
Moose.
That epic game too, and I think it was the Elite Eight in '94 or '95, where Arkansas beat Stackhouse and Wallace, right?
In Seattle, in '95. Yeah.
95. Okay. Yeah.
At the Kingdom, the no longer Kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some history with Arkansas and North Carolina. There's not a lot. That's two schools that played in different conferences, but
might be conference brethren one of these days. If the rumors
never know. That's
are
a
true
good point.
out there. Ty, tomorrow, I know Stephen Pearl is getting a lot of losses as payback for his dad. I know John Calipari wants to put it on him in general, but especially after the matchup down at Auburn.
Whew, yeah, that was tough. That was the first time to experience in the jungle, and it was an experience. I mean, that's a tough place to play. It's one of the toughest in all of college basketball, and like I said, Arkansas got put on by Auburn. He got asked about what was it like to coach against Stephen Pearl on the sidelines. He's like, well, I'm not really looking over. And, I mean, him and Bruce had some epic games over the years. But, yeah, there's payback involved. But, guys, my whole thing on this game is like Auburn's lost 3 straight, and they feel like they could beat Arkansas. And they already did. And they watched Kentucky beat them a week ago. So there's 2 weeks ago, I should say. So if I'm Auburn, like I'm reeling. I have to get a marquee win on my resume. Why not do it in Fayetteville? That's the mentality I take if I'm Stephen Pearl and company. And I hope Arkansas's ready to play because they weren't ready to play 2 weeks ago when Kentucky, a good team, came here.
Do you think the Razorbacks are improving week in, week out, game in, game out?
I think it's all the schedule. Like everyone's been all up in arms, stats about what happened last 2 games, and I know they won by 20, first time they've won in Starkville since 2015, over a decade, and I know they crushed LSU by 28 on the road. But LSU and Mississippi State are not good basketball teams. If you beat Auburn handily, and then, I mean, you go to Tuscaloosa, which they haven't fared well recently, and win that, then I think you can say that. You're still waiting on we'll see the SEC availability or to B.J. Wagner and Carter Knox tonight, and then kind of if they're added, what does that rotation look like moving forward? It's not to say they're playing worse, but you have to look at the schedule and the caliber of teams you beat in these last 2 games because you didn't look good the 3rd game against the Wildcats in a loss.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get a good look and see if they are improving or not. It feels like a big 2 games coming up. Really, the rest of the schedule really, really tough for the Razorbacks, but tomorrow will be a whole lot of fun against Auburn. Ty, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Friday.
Brian, Stats, you do too, and y'all happy Valentine's Day weekend, okay, to all your
listeners. You got it. You got it. Be safe. Thank you, Ty.
Thanks, guys.
Ty Richardson joining us to talk the Razorbacks and the SEC. And, yeah, you look at the rest of the schedule for Arkansas. You've got Auburn tomorrow, Alabama on the road Wednesday night, Missouri at home next Saturday. Then you go home against A&M, at Florida, home against Texas, and then at Missouri to end the season. It's a pretty brutal stretch. Some really, really tough games in there. And so, yeah, we'll get a good look on how much and if they have been improving.
including tomorrow, I think you take 6-2 and run, don't you?
No, if you go 6-2 over that span, I think that is as good as it gets.
L's at Coleman and L down at Florida.
I'd say those are definitely the two ones that I would go with. You look at a lot of these games at home the rest of the way. I believe only 3 more road games for Arkansas, so you at least get a lot of these games at home, which will definitely help. But that's pretty brutal down the stretch, and we'll see what these freshmen are made of in some of these big road games, like you mentioned, against Alabama and against Florida. But excited to see that one, like y'all were, or like you said, that was rough the first time they played at Auburn, and so get some payback for not only that game, but get payback and get a win over the Sun tomorrow.
And Brian, we're getting ready. We're getting close to the time of the year that even if you do lose before Selection Sunday, conference tournament or regular season, you kind of want that I can learn from it loss. You don't want to get destroyed.
Sure.
And coaching staff and players, kind of back to thinking, I don't know what we are. You can build from it loss.
Yeah, definitely, and I think there will be some opportunities for that for the Razorbacks, and I think tomorrow could be a really interesting game at home against Auburn, and certainly Wednesday on the road against Alabama. But let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Join NFL and Ole Miss football legend Archie Manning for an evening of inspiring stories on leadership, perseverance, and greatness. Don't miss Archie Manning at the Heindel Center in Senatobia, Mississippi on Friday, February 20th. Tickets are on sale now at heindelcenter.org. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound coming.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number comes from the Olympics. Big news out of the Olympics, and it leads me to my big number. This is the first time I've attempted on air, off air, in conversation, anything to say this athlete's name. Ilya Malinin, the figure skater, the American figure skater, was, and here's my big number, minus 10,000, according to this tweet I saw earlier, to win gold in his event today. Again, a figure skater. He fell 3 times in his routine. They call him the quad god, you know. He finished 8th. The winner was plus 10,000, and he won. He's from Kazakhstan. How about
Please
that?
tell me you had a green check mark on that.
You know, Brett, we talked about my Olympic betting habits. Now, if the question was, have you bet on any Olympic event this year? The answer would be yes. If the answer is, have you bet on any figure skating? The answer would be a resounding no. I just, Brett, I've watched a handful of figure skating events in the Winter Olympics. I just, it's the scoring. You've got the judges. I mean, a lot that goes into it. That it's above my head, so I'm not going to be betting on any figure skating.
Did you have any afternoon college baseball?
I've not bet any afternoon college baseball yet. I am certainly going to be betting what Alan gave us.
Any
and probably a couple night. I have a couple of. I have a tournament prop, or not prop, but a tournament bet. But that's the only thing I have in Pebble right now.
You've been riding, and help me with pronunciation. Hazatsune?
Hazatsune, yes. That's close enough. That's at least how I've been calling him. He's awesome. He's great. Oh, my gosh.
Let me tell you who's going to get hot tomorrow and Sunday.
Who's that?
Very familiar name.
Who's that?
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, no, I bet you. But Ryo, I just go by his first name, Brett. Ryo, he's got to take a sake bomb before he putts. He takes the sip of water, and it's like he putts. And then, like, as he's putting, he swallows the water, and that's kind of his deep breath.
Alcohol sake.
No. He just calls it.
They can't drink during play.
Well, obviously, but he just did. That's what he called it the other day in his interview. He said it's a sake bomb because it calms him down.
I know you've never had sake.
No, I've not.
Instead of having sake, go drain battery acid out of your vehicle and drink it instead of sake.
Yes, no. But no, he is no real sake bomb for him. But that's what he calls his little sip of water before he putts, and he's electric. I love him.
College football playoff, way too early predictions coming up at 5:30. Bracket, everything. Eventual winner, all the matchups, all that. So my big number is 362. How big is Ole Miss getting Trinidad Chambliss back? Well, he only threw for 362 yards against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl and gave modern, younger, all of us Ole Miss fans the Archie Manning Sugar Bowl type performance. It was one for the ages. 362. Wow. You have that guy back, you got a chance.
No, you definitely do, and that is huge when you talk about any of these teams around college football. It starts at that quarterback position, and having him back in the fold, that will certainly help Ole Miss going into next year. I know I've seen a lot of videos of the excitement around Oxford after that ruling last night.
Trinidad flags are flying.
Yes,
I'm telling you, Brian, I can watch that fourth quarter, just his fourth quarter highlight reel, and it was it was as good a quarterback play as you'll ever see.
Yeah, no, he was terrific all season long, and now today Joey Aguilar having his hearing. I think I saw the judge said he's not ruling on anything today. So
time was money with Mississippi judge. He got to the decision, didn't he?
Something. He was getting paid by the minute.
Decision.
He was drawing that one out.
I wonder how they got it written so quickly.
Well, that's a good question. It's a great question. But yeah, he we were obviously we were preoccupied while he was reading it, but because I saw the tweets when we were coming back from a break or something yesterday, and it was like the judge has returned, we're going to get a ruling soon, and then like 45 minutes later I see another tweet. It's like, I think he's starting to wrap up. And I was like, wrap up? That was an hour ago. What is the holdup? And it was a lot of reading to do. So good for him and good for Ole Miss. And I'm excited to get to our college football playoff predictions at 5:30.
I don't know if it would be legal or ethical, but if Ole Miss won a national championship, Judge Whitwell, national championship ring, right?
Get dicey. It can get really, really, really dicey. But hey, why not? Maybe a little under the table and just swinging by the office to pick something up from that hearing back last year and he slide it under the table.
And our good buddy Tom Mars definitely gets one, doesn't he?
He certainly
always been a friend of Ole Miss,
of course. So they'll definitely get a ring for him. If that's what is in play. But we're going to wrap up this second hour here in a second. But before we do that, let me remind you, perfect time this weekend. Head down to Olive Branch. Check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967. Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you're looking for. But if you need a new pair of jeans, well, Frontier Western is the place you need to get to. They've got all the biggest brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. While you're down there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, we need to wrap up this hour, get to another break, and when we return, we're talking Tiger basketball. Jason Munns, the beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, he'll join us as always, presented by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. We're talking Tigers next on Sports Time.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
I don't know.
What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Gaston, are you doing a Central Barbecue spot because you think if you do a Central Barbecue spot for free, then Central Barbecue will give you free Central Barbecue?
Wow. You already got in 3 mentions of Central Barbecue, and the spot hasn't even started.
That's 4.
3.
4. That's not how it works, Gaston. You Central Barbecue mooch.
That's 5.
Get out.
Hey, I just love Central Barbecue.
You have anything to say for yourself?
Central Barbecue?
So, can I get some free Central Barbecue?
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's building pretty good now on all the major outbound routes. It's a little bit crowded at times. Sam Cooper, certain sections there going outbound. As it builds over here on 240 East from Mill Branch out to 385 as you get on the Bill Morris Parkway. You're going to find yourself there with some good company on Bill Morris going outbound towards the Collierville area. Hey, check out the animals this weekend that are available for adoption at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Check out their website. They're on there at memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Friday afternoon. We've talked a lot of Tiger basketball throughout today's show, but every single Friday afternoon during the basketball season, we talk with Jason Munz. He's the beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, and he's brought to you every single Friday by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. I know a late night for you last night with that game against North Texas. A weird game, a game of runs, a back-and-forth game. What happened with the Tigers after back-to-back wins? A lot of people thinking that here they go, they're getting something rolling, and then to have that loss last night on the road against North Texas.
Yeah, it's the same stuff that's been biting them in the rear end every other time they lose. Bit them again. 16 turnovers that North Texas converted into 28 points, and Memphis simply doesn't know how to defend without fouling the majority of the time. It's just like it's got to be frustrating for. I mean, obviously it's frustrating to the fans and Penny as well. But like it just when you think that it can't get any more frustrating, it does, and it's like. Because it's the same stuff over and over and over again. It's the inability to defend without fouling. It's the inability to stop committing turnovers or to limit, like to consistently limit turnovers. And you know what? Like, I can even. We're in year 8, season 8 of the Penny Hardaway era. Every single team he has like turned the ball over a ton. So at this point, that's the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that you just have to accept, that Penny Hardaway's offenses are just going to turn the ball over a lot. So, you know, you don't. I mean, I'm not saying that they deserve a pass because that's just the way it is. But at the same time, you know, you do have to at some point just accept that because again, that's the way it is. But the inability to close just is yet another thing to throw onto the pile here. 5 times, 5 of their 12 losses this season, Memphis has had a lead inside the final 8 minutes of regulation. Wow. 5 times. 5 times they've had a lead against Purdue, against Vanderbilt, against Mississippi State, against Tulane, against Tulsa. So I think it's not 5, it's 7. 7 times they have had a lead late in games, and they just give it. They poo-poo it away. And last night was another example of that, where where they're up, and then they just stop making shots. They scored 2 points in the last 4.5 minutes of that game, and it was 2 free throws. So they just disappear at crunch time. And the fact that it has happened 7 times, and we're basically a little more than 2/3 of the way through the season, is kind of astounding.
Jason, I know Coach Penny Hardaway is ultimately responsible for that, but on the floor, who is the player that you think is the common denominator of those late game collapses? Because I've already said this today. It was not Doug McDaniel's finest hour last night, and it almost felt collectively like they forgot they had Sincere Parker.
Yeah, I mean, Doug is struggling. Like, he is just plain and simply struggling, and he knows it. Like, I was there last night and talked to him, and I mean, he looked like the weight of the world was on top of him.
But he was stand up and talking to you, though. I was proud of that, and I like that.
Yes, the credit in the world for that, for standing in front of me and facing that, facing the camera and owning up to his shortcomings, because he has not been good for 2 weeks, going on 3 now. He's been fine. He's been okay. But he has not been the player that he was, earlier this season, where he was, there were some games where he, 6, 8 assists, 2, 3, sometimes 4 steals, 15, 17, 20 points a game, in some of these games. That hasn't happened in a while. And again, he knows it. He is all too aware of it, and it's really starting to weigh on him. And it's not just the production, though. It's the decision-making and the leadership that's just not been there. And that is partially his responsibility. Now, asking about common denominators, it was Zach Davis, who was defending Rowan Brumbaugh on the game-winning basket in the Tulane game. It was Zach Davis who was, instrumental in the breakdown against Wake Forest earlier this season. Zach Davis had not played in, I think it was 2 or 3 games before he played last night, because Quante Berry did not make this trip because of concussion protocol. It was his first time back on the floor, and I'm sorry, when he's on the floor, it seems like they struggle to close out these games. And, Penny's been pretty upfront about his frustrations with Zach Davis this year, and it's, here we go again, you know what I mean, where he is put in a position where Penny and Memphis is put in a position where they have to play him, because not only was Quante Berry not there and not playing, not available, Aaron Bradshaw and Tierno still had fouled out. So, they were, they had to go to somebody, and they didn't want to go to Tariq Ingram. They didn't want to go to Simon Majok. They didn't, so they were having to go to Ashton Hardaway and Zach Davis, and that's what happened.
You mentioned the Zach Davis in last night, Quante Berry out last night. It seems like over these at least the last 2 games, Penny Hardaway has really settled on this rotation. Only 8 guys last 2 games with 10 or more minutes played. It feels like this is the group, and I guess when Quante comes back, you could see maybe Zach Davis be left out. Is that what you're seeing, and do you think that's what happened? What will happen when Quante returns?
Yes. To me, it doesn't matter what happens tomorrow at Utah State. I think it's pretty clear. I mean, listen, here's the really confusing part. If you look at the box score, Zach Davis had 9 or 10 points, 4 rebounds.
A big late 3?
Yeah, only 1 turnover, and he was the only player that played last night for Memphis who finished in positive territory in plus minus. He was +4, and he was the only Tiger on the plus side. So, that's a little confusing to look at that and say that he's like part of the problem. But again, you look at the body of work, and it's just. You look at them with him and you look at them without him, and it doesn't take much to see that they're better without him, or when he's playing fewer minutes. So, it's. I do not think that I forget what he played last night, 20 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that.
Yep.
I do not think that is here to stay. I think once Quante gets back. I asked Penny, what his expectation was as far as a timeline on him, and he basically said, he's not on this trip, but he'll be back with us as soon as we get back, which means that he'll, it sounds like he'll be ready to go against South Florida next Thursday on the road. I think the time for, sprinkling in extra guys here and there is over, unless even I say that even in the face of severe foul trouble, which they were in last night, he still was not willing to go to Simon Majok, Tariq Ingram, Hassan Abdul Hakim sitting on the bench over there again for the second game in a row, and saw no action. I do think that is here to stay, and I think Zach will be the one who's affected once Quante is back.
Jason Bryant and I both kind of started the show way back at 3:00, kind of with this. I said I do not think he will be. I do not think Penny Hardaway should be fired. He should not ever be humiliated or embarrassed by this university. No way. I don't think even back channel there should be surrogates going to him for the ease away, step down quietly. I think he should be back for year 9. I'm clear with that. But his tenure, while it has not been bad. It's just been okay. And I think the emphasis for next year, already I'm hearing next year talk of maybe this cadre of 3 to 4 to 5 players returning, so you have some familiarity, some semblance of continuity. Go out and get a high school player or 2. But I think the big star's got to come from out in the portal, and it's got to be a big star. Do you think Ed Scott that he's having these conversations with Penny Hardaway about next season?
I don't feel like he's having them yet, but I do think that he's probably rehearsing with with others behind the scenes and himself. You know what I mean? Like I think all of what you just said is like I think that's how it's going to play out. I think that,
and you concur. No firing, no easing away.
No. It would be it would have to be. They'd have to lose the rest of the games this season, because again, it's not like they're. if we're looking at it in a vacuum, if we're looking at it just this one season, yeah, it's been pretty bad. But it's not like they're getting blown out by everybody. You know, they lost the game at home to UNLV. Yes, the Quad Four lost to Tulane at home. The Louisville game where they just weren't competitive. But again, going back to what I was saying before, they've had 7 games, 7 of their 12 losses where they were, you know, in it late, and everything. And so they're not getting embarrassed is the thing. And so it's not, you know, quote unquote ugly. Now I do 100% understand that we're about to wrap up year 8. And if something doesn't, if some long shot doesn't happen, 8 seasons and 1 NCAA tournament win. And I totally understand that. And so I don't see Penny getting like fed up enough to where he would be okay walking away on his own with this kind of a finish. Like, I do not think that is in Penny whatsoever to you know, essentially accept defeat.
Not a quitter bone in his body.
Yeah, like, I don't think he's going to walk away on a sour note. Like, I don't think he can let that his you know, legacy in that way. So yeah, I think he's fully bought in to stick it out, and as long as Memphis will have him, and I think that is it for at least one more season. But yeah, like, I think a lot of that other stuff that you were talking about is pretty spot on. Like, I think so. 2 years ago, things went horribly wrong, and you couldn't blame Penny for being like, I'm just going to start fresh. And that's basically what he did. He brought back one player, Nick Jourdain. And look what happened. They got a 5 seed. They won 29 games. And so I feel like on some level, Penny was like, well, hey, I did it last year where I started from scratch. Why can't I do it again? Like, if I did it once and I got a 5 seed the next year, well, let's just do that again. And now he is seeing the flip side of the coin. And so I have a feeling he's going to be like, no, we're not doing this again. And the other part of that is, like, he's got some really intriguing pieces that are eligible to come back. And so, yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that's going to be discussed is bringing guys back. And I think another thing that's going to be discussed is the staff. I feel like there's going to be some big changes on the way there. And then, of course, like you said, you got to go out and get yourself a difference maker in the transfer portal. Like you've got to go out and hit on like a PJ Haggerty type hit, or a David Jones type hit, or a Kendrick Davis type hit. Like, you've got to go out and get somebody who is not only an extremely high level player, but also somebody who is a leader and a winner. Like, those are, you got to hit on all 3 of those on at least one player. And if you do that and you surround that player with, and I'm just throwing some names out there as possibilities of players who can come back: Aaron Bradshaw, Curtis Givens III, Julius Thedford, Quante Berry, Simon Majock. Like, that's a really, really good foundation for next year. And I don't know who the, potential superstar would be that you would add, but like, that'd be a really good foundation.
But you throw the star on top of that, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was Bryant's calculation way back at 3:00. I'm more dubious of that as a core than probably you and Brian are, but that is a core with a defining star, no doubt about it, star. Then sign me up, and I think some changes on the bench. I've heard some talk of maybe a big financial offer to Tony Madlock to come back and coach. I know that would be leaving a head coaching spot. That would be fine with me, but I think needs some support on the bench for Coach Hardaway.
That was a name I heard back in December, actually, as a possibility. Like, just sort of floating it out there from somebody, from a somebody that I trust very much. And so, yeah, like I think that they've been thinking about this. Memphis has been thinking about this, quite a while. That what needs to be addressed, no matter how the rest of the season goes. And I mean, like, that's really good. They're being proactive, and they're putting a lot of, they're putting themselves through the paces, and they're going to do everything they can to get it right.
No, I think you're right. You mentioned the Tulane loss being a quad 4 loss, and I realized that this is the first year in a while that I've not looked and been paying attention to what quads these opponents are. And so I went to look because I remembered that at a time the UNLV loss was also a quad 4 loss, but now it is a quad 3 loss. And then I went and looked at UNLV because UNLV this year has 4 road victories all season long, 4 road victories. One of them is San Jose State. The other 3, Stanford, Memphis, and Memphis's opponent tomorrow night, Utah State. How about that?
Yeah, and they've also beaten Boise State and somebody else that's pretty good. I can't remember who it is. But then they've also lost to UT Martin, Tennessee State, Montana.
Wait, y'all are telling me Josh is inconsistent?
Well, yeah.
12-12 like the Tigers. How about that? Wow.
They've had a very weird year, that UNLV, as have the Tigers. But yeah, it's there is some overlap. I mean, like, UNLV didn't just beat Utah State, and this is a Utah State team that's only lost 3 games all season, and one of them was a 10-point home loss to UNLV, a team that, as I just mentioned, lost to UT Martin and Tennessee State and some others. But yeah, it is freeing, isn't it, to not have to check bracketology. And I mean, like, on one hand, it's freeing. On the other hand, it's really
saves me some time, I guess.
Yeah. It's a little depressing, but it's also very freeing to not have to, like, wonder who's quad 1 this week and who's whatever else. Like, that's it's certainly makes for a different dynamic than the past couple of years.
It's certainly different. Last thing real quickly for you, Jason, tomorrow night against Utah State, we've mentioned it now a couple times. Brett was telling me, I don't remember exactly what it was, but ESPN has Utah State as a very large favorite on their predictor. I'm looking at KenPom right now. KenPom has Utah State as a 91% winner tomorrow night. What do you expect for the Tigers on the road in Logan tomorrow night against Utah State?
I expect Utah State to win, and I don't expect it to be close. Well, I mean, like, relatively close. Like, I could see it being like a 10-point loss or something like that. But, like, here's the thing about expectations in this Tiger basketball team this season. Who knows? Yeah. Like, we just have to come to terms with the fact that everybody, and I'm not talking about just myself, or I'm not talking about just the fans, like, I literally think everybody associated with the program and within the program and who pays attention to the program, nobody knows what you're going to get, sometimes from media timeout to media timeout. Like, it is impossible to predict what's going to happen. That said, again, like, Utah State's really, really good, and Memphis just is too inconsistent to like put all your eggs into a basket and be like, you know what, I think it's a pretty good matchup for Memphis. Like, it may be the best matchup in the world for Memphis, but then you tip it off, and they have 3 guys with 3 fouls in the first half, and then all bets are off. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's just that kind of year, man. Like, you just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, well, we'll see what it looks like tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. But, Jason, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll do it again next Friday.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason, so much. Jason Munn's every Friday with us. presented to you by Jim's Place Grill tomorrow night. I know a lot of people are going out with that special someone in their life for Valentine's, and a lot of people out tonight. Go to Jim's Place Grill. They've been doing these celebrations for over 100 years with those great charcoal grilled steaks, great family time and lasting memories like at Valentine's. The Terrace family with their touch for our community. You can go online at jimsplacegrill.com. You can get that as a gift, and you can go later for Valentine's. Don't forget the E in Grill recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee, where every steak is grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. They're going strong right now in that great bar area at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark, the Terrace family, they've created that memorable dining experience. The lunch menu, the staples like the shrimp cocktail, the souffle mauve, the crab cakes, and the cheeseburger. Don't forget that, and the tortilla soup and the chili. All the dressings homemade at dinner, the calamari, the soups, the seafood, and those steaks, ribeyes, strips, and fillets. Are you hungry? The place to go is Jim's Place Grill this weekend, and enjoy that great bar area and all the fun at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville.
Well, Brett, I am hungry, and that made me even hungrier. So,
well, you got a place you need to be going tomorrow.
I know it, and yeah.
You need a reservation?
I might be hitting you up. Definitely. One thing, and I haven't brought it up yet, but I don't know if you noticed. I noticed it the first time Memphis played North Texas inside FedEx Forum, and I was watching for it last night because I'll be honest, I haven't watched much North Texas basketball since that game against Memphis. I was watching for it last night on ESPN. I don't know if you noticed it, but new coaching staff in at North Texas, they're really putting an emphasis on the defensive side of the ball, on the turnovers. Did you see what they were doing after every turnover that they forced on the defensive end of the court?
I didn't catch it.
So it starts with the staffers. The staffers, of course, have to lead it so everyone else gets involved. They jump up, and as a team, they all get up and start making noise, and then they go with their arms. They make a T and they make an O. They go T-O, and then,
the bench area does it.
The bench area does it. Every turnover, T-O, and so you can hear it on the broadcast sometimes with just them shouting. And I think it's the funniest thing, and I love it.
You're right. Brand new coach did that last night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Daniel Robinson coming in from Cleveland State, brought in a handful of guys from his Cleveland State team last year, and they are not having a great season in the conference, but that was certainly a big win for him last night at home to really try to keep themselves in contention, because we talked about yesterday, they're right there in the mix.
They're still out.
Of missing. Oh wow! So that didn't even put them on the right side of the conference bracket, but certainly could give them some confidence to try to get on that right side of the not the NCAA tournament bracket, the conference bracket. But we're gonna get to a break in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com. Head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we're going to take our first stab at our college football playoff brackets for next season, our way, way, way too early predictions. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good evening. T-Dot is working with a couple of wrecks out here. What we're seeing right now is just heavy traffic on all the major outbound routes as expected over here on I-40 coming past White Station as that traffic cranks up pretty good right now. 51 up into Millington. We did see radar earlier, and we had to put up with that earlier southbound on 55 south of Memphis down in parts of DeSoto County, so be careful. Weimer's Jewelry is your last-minute Valentine's Day shopping headquarters. Stop by right now and shop local. Why? Because you'll save a lot of money this year at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got a little bit less than 30 minutes left in today's show. And it's never too early to start talking college football and start making predictions for next season. Heck, there are people putting out top 25s the same night that Indiana was being crowned national champion. So we gave it a little bit of time, but now we're going to take our first stab at our way too early college football playoff top 12 and the bracket. So we're going to be claiming taking our first stab at claiming a champion this afternoon.
We are. A week ago today, we were picking Super Bowl 60, and all of us with good picks on that. Let's see how good these picks are. I will start because I've been giving away my eventual champion all day. 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten, 1 from the Big 12, 1 independent, 1 from the ACC, and a group of 6 team. And my group of 6 team will be the Tigers' opponent in their opener. I've got Dan Mullen and UNLV as the 12 seed, but here are my seedings. 1 Oregon, 2 Texas, 3 Notre Dame, 4 Texas Tech, 5 Georgia. So I'm saying Texas over Georgia in the SEC championship game. 6 Ohio State, so I'm saying Oregon over Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. 7 Miami, 8 Ole Miss, 2 down from last year, 9 Michigan, 10 LSU, 11 USC, and 12 UNLV. With that, the campus games. The number 5 Georgia over UNLV. The 6 Ohio State losing at home to USC, the 11 seed. The 10 seed LSU defeating the 7 seed Miami at Miami's home stadium. The number 8 Ole Miss in Oxford defeating Michigan. Number 9 Big Blue. Hail to the victors. Come rolling through Oxford. That sets up Oregon, the number 1 overall seed, losing in the Rose Bowl. I talked about football heaven yesterday. You know where football heaven is. The Rose Bowl Stadium on New Year's Day. Me there with Ole Miss upsetting Oregon. Texas losing to the 10 seed LSU in the Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame and USC meeting in the college football playoffs when they don't play in the regular season. And Notre Dame winning that game. Peach Bowl, Georgia the 5 over the 4, Texas Tech. National semis on Thursday, January the 14th in the Sugar Bowl. Why not? Rematch. 8 Ole Miss against 5 Georgia. And then in the Orange Bowl, number 10 LSU defeating Notre Dame. Ole Miss wins Sugar Bowl. LSU beats Notre Dame. Las Vegas for the second time in the college football season. Ole Miss beats Lane not once but twice. Beats him in September in Oxford and wins a national championship, beating Lane Kiffin in Vegas. Please make it happen.
Man, that would be something. That would be that would. I mean, movies are made for that, Brett.
10th Mountain Division would be armed in Vegas for that one.
No kidding. No,
in the desert.
Yeah,
the 10th Mountain Division in the desert.
You'd need everything in Vegas for that. I like it. I like that a lot.
Good bracket.
Landon,
I'm walking right into the first casino and buying the number 6 on the roulette wheel.
I'll tell you this. I've got a wheelbarrow. I think I have a wheelbarrow that I will let you borrow for all of those winnings that you're going to bring back.
I'm bringing home a ton.
I know you are. Everyone else tells us, "Oh, I don't need it. I'm not going to bring it back." But I know you're bringing back winnings.
I'm going to need it.
No, you are. Landon, you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go with this. I'll just go right through the line, 1 through 12. My number 1, I have Ohio State. 2 Georgia, 3 Indiana, 4 Texas Tech, 5 Ole Miss, got 6 Texas, 7 Oregon, 8 LSU, 9 Miami, 10 Notre Dame, 11 BYU, and 12. How could it be anybody else but my Bows? Go Bows.
So
claiming
that's
that
Ole
spot.
Miss in Hawaii, in Oxford.
It certainly is. Hawaii at Ole Miss, which would be a dream come
I know
true.
a guy can get you tickets for that.
I no matter what it is, no matter what it looks like, I will be at that game if it happens. So Hawaii at Ole Miss, I've got Ole Miss winning that. It would give us BYU at Texas. I've got Texas winning that. Notre Dame at Oregon. I have Notre Dame coming out on top on that. Miami at LSU with LSU winning, and that takes us to the next round. Notre Dame versus Georgia with Georgia winning that. LSU versus Ohio State. I have Ohio State moving on. Texas versus Indiana with Indiana moving on, and Ole Miss versus Texas Tech, which I think will be a great game. And I have Ole Miss winning that. Then you go on. You have Ohio State versus Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss winning. Indiana versus Georgia. I have Indiana winning, and Ole Miss and Indiana in the national championship, and give me Indiana to take it back.
Okay. Should have been the game this year. I'll take it right now. Sign me up for it.
I like that. All right.
Now, Landon, let's make it clear, because before the next texter texts in that I made you pick Ole Miss, did I make you pick Ole Miss?
You had zero influence.
Did we have a single solitary conversation about it?
Not even an email.
Thank you.
Yeah. God, we got that. Because you're right. Someone was going to about text in. Hey.
Nope.
Brett made you do that.
No, Brett,
this was 100% my own choosing.
All right.
Hence why Hawaii was there.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, we saw that one coming. All right, my top 12 for my way too early college football playoff. Number 12 out of the American, representing the group of 6 now. USF, a new coach. They're putting in the money. They brought in a lot of big names. I think they get it done in year one. It's going to be an interesting season to see what USF does. I believe I haven't looked at their schedule. I know Memphis goes there this year, so that will certainly be difficult for the Tigers.
The new coach.
Yeah, so he I think could have
Mike or Brian. Help me.
Brian. Yeah, you got it right. You got it right. So I think USF could be in for a nice season. I have them at 12. Number 11, and he better, even with what happened last year, he better. Alabama, Kalen DeBoer still is kind of on.
You're the only one that has Bama
on that one. I mean, it's just got to happen. I mean, if he wants to keep a job, he's got to get into the playoffs. I'm
really
afraid.
Good guy, signed up for a really tough job, but he's got to do it.
Yeah, no, he's got to do it.
A good coach.
I think it could come down between them and a couple other schools. Number 10, I'm going with the Utah Utes. I was big on them last year. They weren't able to get it done, but bringing back a lot of pieces from last year's team. So give me Utah at 10. Number 9, Oklahoma. Number 8, Texas Tech to do it again and have another big season. Number 7, Texas. The Longhorns get in there with all the pieces they added in the transfer portal. Number 6, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. 5, Oregon. 4, Georgia. 3, Miami. 2, Ohio State. And number 1, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Y'all both had Indiana in. I did not. Bryant, you were the only one with Bama. You were the only one that omitted Ole Miss. Help me with LSU. Did you have LSU in?
I did not have LSU in, no.
And none of the three of us had A&M in.
Yeah, no, and that was one.
I left them out.
That was when I looked, and when I was kind of doing some of this, I was going, man, I wonder where everyone's going to have A&M. And
Why
then,
do you hate Ole Miss?
Well, no, Brett, first.
Brett, you made him not pick
That's
Ole
right.
Miss, didn't
That's
you?
right. Yeah.
I did.
Brett orchestrated all of this and said, Landon, you pick Ole Miss. Brian, no, I think the expectations are going to be really, really high for Ole Miss. But I need to see
that schedule.
That schedule is going to be tough. You look at this new coaching staff, which they were really, really good in the postseason. Obviously, Pete Golding taking over in a difficult spot. I just want to see them go out there with a full season, kind of this new look coaching staff, what it looks like. But
he's got to do it.
He does. And so I think that quarterback, you got that quarterback, you got that running back, you got a lot of pieces. You talked about that defense. Having a defensive minded coach, I think will certainly help a lot. So I think they're right in there. It took me a lot between Bama and Ole Miss for that 11 spot. I think they're right there, but I do have Ole Miss out, and that certainly could change as we get closer to the season.
Boy, there's been a ton of Ole Miss coaches on opening day did not have Trinidad Chambliss and Klein Lacey in the backfield.
No, yeah, you're.
In fact, very few have had that.
That's right.
And opening game for Ole Miss against Louisville. Louisville beat two college football playoff teams last year, JMU and Miami.
Yeah.
And they put it to Kentucky, and Ole Miss just thank goodness the clock hit 0.
Yeah. Well,
to finally get dispatch Kentucky.
Louisville's been that weird team because they're always around. They've never had that big, or at least over the last couple of years, have had that big season, but they're always right there. They're always around. They're always knocking teams off. So that's going to be a really tough one, game 1 in
There's
Nashville.
no way keeping Notre Dame out, is it?
No, I mean, it just feels like it's now set
that
up for them.
schedule, and after this year, and I'm torn that I think they probably did get a raw deal, but when you get down to deciding Miami or Notre Dame, Labor Day weekend had to matter.
It did. It absolutely. I mean, you got to look at the resume as a whole, and you could argue if that was the right decision or not. But what Miami did in the postseason certainly showed they deserve to be in there. All right. So for my matchups, I have USF against Oregon in the 12-5. I have Oregon winning that game. Oklahoma, Texas Tech in the 9-8 with Oklahoma winning that one on the road. Bama and Notre Dame in the 11-6. What a great matchup that would be. I have Notre Dame winning that game. Utah, Texas in the 10-7 with Utah pulling the upset over Texas. And then in the next round, I have Oregon against Georgia with Oregon winning that. Oklahoma, Indiana with Indiana winning that game. Notre Dame, Miami with Miami getting the W. And then Utah, Ohio State with Ohio State winning. So for my semifinals, I have Oregon, Indiana, Miami, and Ohio State. I have Oregon beating Indiana. I have Ohio State beating Miami to have a championship matchup between Oregon and Ohio State. And Oregon finally does it. That Nike money comes through. Getting Dante Moore to return pays off. And Oregon is your national champion.
So y'all have Big Ten going 4 straight?
Yeah. I didn't even think about that when I did it. But
and you have no SEC team in your final. If that happens, Bryant, I mean, they're going to fly the flag at half-staff at the league office.
Brett, believe it or not.
National Day of Mourning.
Believe it or not, that was not intentional, and I didn't even notice until you just pointed it out. I was just kind of going through and putting it.
Now, you know what the
and
great
doing
answer
it.
would have been when I jokingly said, "Why do you hate Ole Miss?" You should have said, "By birth."
That would have been
None
good.
of us have Tennessee.
No, none of us have Tennessee, and
None of us have Clemson.
no, none of us have. Wow, that is
Is
that
it
is
it's
something
over at Clemson? We're
Yeah.
kind of saying that.
And none of us have Penn State in there either. I mean, think about it. That was our championship game last year, Clemson and Penn State. I mean, and
that's one of the big reasons I don't have either in this year. They got me good last year.
Probably
I was
good.
the only one with USC.
That's right. Yeah.
And they play Ohio State regular season as well.
Yeah, so that would be
Look
a
at
really
Ohio State's schedule. Everybody, especially all of us down here, want to talk about how tough our schedule.
Sure.
Look at those Big Ten schedules for those teams next year. I mean,
No,
that's the Big Ten. That's the conference that's produced 3 national champions in the last 3 years.
And another thing that I started thinking about, and I know it's not like it's something that just hit me thinking about it today because we've talked about it a lot. But now the SEC going to this 9-game conference slate, how will that affect the amount of teams that get to the postseason?
Everybody's built-in excuse.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely
already
is.
started.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that with the 9 would be with the expansion to the 16.
Sure.
It's still the right thing to do for the ticket-buying fans.
Yeah,
Give
absolutely.
them some value.
Absolutely. But it's going to be different, and I'm curious how that changes things for these SEC teams come postseason time. But man, this is fun, and we'll let a little more time pass, and then we'll
hit
come back
save
to
on
this.
your
I am.
laptops.
I am hitting save
iPads,
right
whatever y'all
now.
have.
Yes, no, I
You
think
know-
we're both on the
you know-
laptops.
you know what I have.
You got the pen and paper, which is probably good because for whatever reason, because I tell myself that if it's on my laptop, it's going to save and I'll be able to find it. And then I can never find it in a couple months. So hopefully, maybe I need to pull the pen and the paper out and do it that way. But
You don't have a pen in your briefcase.
I don't, and
In your
it
backpack.
becomes a problem because I'm
He always
always
uses
looking
mine.
for one, and I'm always having to run around and ask people. But I have a virtual pencil.
You
I
do.
have an Apple
you have that.
pen.
I like
but-
when you use it.
Yeah, but I don't have an actual pen, which I need to change. I just need to get like a pack of pens and just throw them in my backpack and just leave them there.
All my
for whenever
pens
I
are
need
from
them.
the end at Ole Miss.
Hey, that's a good place to get them from, and I guess keeps you up to date on your pens. But that was a lot of fun. We'll let some more time pass, and then we'll come back for not a way too early, but just a way too early as we get closer and
About
closer.
Memorial
to the
Day?
season. Yeah, I think that'd be a good
Yeah.
time. I think that'd be a good
And
time.
then the final one in
That's
August.
right. That's exactly right. Crazy enough, it'll be here before we know it, and we'll be talking college football. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Mo's Crunch Time.
You have opinions? I think it's over. Of course you do. I don't think it's that simple. Everyone does. I got all the answers. Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. With single-digit temperatures and ice moving in, frozen pipes and ice dams don't give you much time to react. A busted pipe can flood walls, ceilings, and floors in minutes. And the real damage is often hidden behind drywall, insulation, and cabinets. That trapped moisture can lead to mold fast. Right now, Metro Builders Memphis is delivering immediate emergency water mitigation and response day or night. We can stop the water, document the damage, and help prevent long-term issues before they spread. If you see water stains, sagging ceilings, or active leaks, don't wait. Call us before mold spores spread. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. Metro Builders, we don't just build, we build world class. Book us online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. metrobuildersmemphis.com.
I don't know. What are you guys doing? Nothing. Gaston, are you doing a Central Barbecue spot because you think if you do a Central Barbecue spot for free, then Central Barbecue will give you free Central Barbecue?
Wow. You already got in 3 mentions of Central Barbecue, and the spot hasn't even started.
That's 4.
3.
4. That's not how it works, Gaston, you Central Barbecue mooch.
That's 5.
Get out.
Hey, I just love Central Barbecue.
You have anything to say for yourself?
Central Barbecue?
So, can I get some free Central Barbecue?
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco Crunch Time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com. It's your go-to for all your taco Crunch Time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that Chris Paul is officially retiring from the NBA. The announcement was made earlier today after it was reported that the Raptors were waiving him following that trade at the NBA trade deadline. Chris Paul had said before the season started that this would be his final season, but after him and the Clippers, which I keep going back to that. I always thought that was reported as they parted ways and that they waived him. The Clippers did, but I guess he was still on the roster, just wasn't with the team. And then they made that trade. A lot of people thought when that trade was made, and even when he was no longer with the Clippers, that he would go and join a contender, maybe join the Lakers on a minimum contract, or join one of these teams that is competing. Because on one hand, you could go and compete and maybe try to get a ring. On the other hand, you go to a team like the Lakers that probably won't do much, but you'd be playing with your bestie LeBron to kind of round it out. But no, he's calling it quits. He's saying this is it. He won't sign with another team. So a long career, a very successful career. Love him or hate him, he was a pretty good player, but just could never get it done at the end.
What I learned today, I love hearing all the other crybaby SEC fans mad over Trinidad's eligibility ruling. Many saying he wants to stay in college because he isn't good enough for the NFL. You know some people that wasn't ever good enough for the NFL. Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, Troy Smith, Jason White, Eric Crouch, Chris Winkie. That's all Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks in the 21st century. They weren't good enough for the NFL.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, you look at a lot of the mock drafts, a lot of at least people that predict the draft. They thought he was good enough to play in the NFL, but yeah, a lot of reaction from that answer last night. Well, what I could have done without, we talked about it a lot this afternoon, but that loss for the Tigers last night. We had kind of set up and talked a lot about this week being a really big road trip for the Tigers. You go out on the road, you beat North Texas, maybe play competitively against Utah State, and then go back into conference play against South Florida. And you would really be rolling if you could get a win down in Tampa. But after last night's performance, another loss, back down to 500. It looks pretty bleak for tomorrow night against Utah State. And I mean, really looking down the barrel of an 0-3, a 3-game road stretch before they return back home to FedEx Forum.
Yeah, we're going to have to do Tiger Bankroll off the air because no line posted. We'll do it. We'll be honest about it. We always are. I could have done without all the turnovers, all the fouls, and all the excuses last night. Of course, blame the refs. It was Big Meanie Lee Castle's fault last night. Just a few weeks ago, it was Doug Shaw's. Always the refs, never Penny.
Yeah, that is right. Where are you beaming this weekend?
Beam me to Kentucky at Florida. Go Gators, beat the call. Florida likely won't repeat, but they're about the SEC's only chance at one shining moment.
Yeah, beam me to the Winter Olympics. Just send me out to Milan and let me wander. I'll be paying attention to all these events. The United States men's hockey team back in action tomorrow, so should be a really fun weekend at the Olympics.
All right, do y'all want to do it? We got a posted line, Utah State minus 14.5. Do y'all want to do it, or do you want time to think about it?
Give me some time to think about it.
You got time. I'll check with you tomorrow.
14.5 is a crazy number.
We'll do it legitimately.
Yeah.
We promise.
Yeah. No, we will. I just would like to look at like two things.
I can tell you now I'm taking the Tigers.
Okay. All right. I don't know where I'm going to be, but we will definitely make that selection. And you know what? Landon, are you good to make it right now?
Hey, I mean, if you are, I guess.
mean, if you know what you're doing, Brett, I can go.
160 Tigers plus 14.5.
I'll take Utah State for 50.
All right.
Shoot, Utah State for 40.
I mean, Brett set that up and then throws out that big number. I mean, I got panicked and threw 50 out. I mean, what are we doing? Well, it should be a fun weekend. All the basketball action, the Winter Olympics, also All-Star game if that's what you're into. But enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.
When you want your favorite drink without the big box hassle, you need City Center Liquor in Lakeland, your locally owned shop for wine, spirits, beer, and all your tobacco needs. With a friendly staff that knows their stuff, you'll get great recommendations, fast service, and the hometown feel you love. So whether you're stocking up for the weekend or on the hunt for something new to try, City Center Liquor has you covered. City Center Liquor.